Hey, good morning. This is the Big JB. It is Wednesday, snowing again on part of my journey here. My gosh, I have not been able to stop yawning this morning. So tired. Stayed up playing Flashpoint in Star Wars with a couple of my gillies, which was really fun. I had a really good time. Got a new piece of gear for my Jedi Knight, which looked awesome. I talked about Dublin yesterday, and I meant to, because I had heard a song by a band called Flogging Molly, which I think is a band here out of Seattle, and they do kind of a punk, punk Irish music, which is a weird combo, but it's really cool. And I was thinking about that and wondering if the Molly refers to Molly Malone, who is a hero in Irish history, and I don't know her full story, but I was walking around in Dublin, and there's this statue of her, and she's got a cart. It looks like it's full of shellfish, like mollusks, and not mollusks, clams and mussels and that kind of stuff. And I thought, wow, this lady must have done something incredible to have had a statue. Like, she's got to be some kind of noble person who decided to sell the shelled objects that she was selling. I'm having a hard time figuring out the word that I'm looking for that. And it turns out she was a prostitute. And I don't know what she did for Ireland, but apparently it was something awesome. But I just thought that's really odd to make a statue of a person like that. I mean, maybe the rest of her story is really redemptive and all that other stuff. But I was like, that's really interesting. And so, speaking of female heroes, oh, here it goes again, big yawn. Oh man. Obviously, my brain is not fully engaged yet. My body's trying to get some oxygen to my brain. Sorry. I was, again, listening to Wild at Heart, and he talks about how every man needs a beauty to rescue. Now, those of you who are female listeners, and some of you who are males, may cringe at that whole idea that there is any need for a man to rescue a woman, or that, women are strong and they don't need to be rescued. And I think that some of that's a little true, but I think that we've lost sight of some of the deep meaning in that. Because, as John Eldridge says in the book, and I happen to agree with, is that every woman at the core of her being wants to know, am I lovely? And I'm sure that there are some women who would argue that that's not what's in their heart, but I think that it's true. I think that at some level, every woman wants to know that they're lovely, that they're worth fighting for, and that there is somebody who's going to come into their life and tell them that they're lovely, that they're beautiful. The old fairy tales with the princesses who are captured by a sinister foe, whether they're captured in a tower or whatever, and they're this beautiful princess, and the knight has to come in to the rescue. It's not so much that the woman is weak. I think it's really a metaphor for where a lot of women are in life, in general, where they are keeping their beauty, or they have kept their beauty, or been convinced that they need to keep their beauty captive, and that there is something within them, whether it's not necessarily physical beauty, but that there is this beauty to them that can be found, discovered, rescued by someone who loves them. And that's how I feel like husbands need to view their wives. It's so stupid that in our society there is this pursuit of the woman. There's this pursuit of finding a wife, and we go through all of this ritual. We go through all of this courting. We finally get the woman to marry us, and then we stop trying. We stop courting our wives. We stop trying to make them feel special. We don't do the things that we did in the first place that made us so appealing to them. It's like we lose the heroism that we exhibited during that courtship phase, and I think that that's really wrong. And I was thinking about, like, George Takei. He regularly posts pictures on his Facebook or something. I don't know. He's become like this meme generating madman. And one of them has to do with princesses and the falsehoods that communicates to girls. And I think it's a really skewed perspective, because I don't think it's necessarily bad if you're the right kind of parent, and if you're not just telling your girls all you are is a weak princess and you have to be beautiful enough to win the prince. I think that's completely backwards. I think the point is that there is a beauty to every girl, and that there is a beauty that needs to be drawn out or rescued, if you will, by a man who loves them. And in the case of like Beauty and the Beast, I think that's one of the coolest stories, because you have this beast that is, especially the Disney version, right? They just have this beast who I think happens to look really awesome, but I think arguably there are some people who think he looks ugly. But you have this unrefined, angry, mean-spirited beast who has no confidence in himself, and yet through their relationship he grows to understand what she needs, and he has this desire to become the person that she needs, and through that she falls in love with him and the spell is broken. And I think that's a powerful metaphor, and I think that's what we need to be, whether you start out feeling like Prince Charming or not, or you feel like the Beast. There is something within a man that should rise up to say, I want to be the person that my princess needs. That my like in the case of my wife, I absolutely think that she's beautiful, and I absolutely think she's worth fighting for, and I would, in a heartbeat, fight and rise to defend, etc. So that is my thought for today. It's 7 minutes. I didn't realize I'd been talking so long. So clearly something that I feel strongly about, as tends to be the case when I'm running long. So those are my thoughts. I certainly welcome discussion. Please feel free to post a response to this video. Don't forget, down below, click the like button and subscribe to my channel. And make sure to tell your friends all about it. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. This has been TheBigJB. I will see everybody tomorrow. Oh, yeah, and you can follow me on Twitter at VoiceOfTheBigJB. I'll see everybody tomorrow. Bye.